Welcome to LatinPerDiem. This is the concluding episode in this series on Cicero's De Officiis. Nam philosophandi scientiam concedens multis, quod est oratoris proprium, apte distincte ornate dicere, quoniam in eo studio aetatem consumsi, si id mihi assumo, videor id meo jure quodam modo vindicare. We've previously covered this sentence. 4. Although I grant to many persons, philosophandi scientiam, a knowledge of philosophizing, that thing which is proprium oratoris, the particular domain of the orator, neuter, singular, nominative, that which is the particular domain of the orator, and then we have this appositive phrase. So what is oratoris proprium? It is apte, distincte, and ornate dicere. It is to speak appropriately, clearly, and beautifully. That is what is oratoris proprium. And notice there are no conjunctions between these adverbs, which is a figure of speech known as a syndeton. So in the midst of describing what it means to be an orator, to speak in a certain way, Cicero uses this nice figure. Because in eo studio, in that pursuit, aetatem consumsi, I have spent my entire life, he says. Si id mihi, if this thing to myself, or for myself, I claim. Here we have the neuter, singular, accusative, object. Here we have the masculine, singular, dative, indirect object, and of course the verb assumo. If I claim that for myself, then I seem to prove my claim, meo jure, by my right, in a certain fashion. Now, although Cicero is wary of speaking arroganter, or being thought to have spoken arroganter, nevertheless, at the end, he makes a very bold claim that he has what is oratoris proprium, a certain method of speaking. And he expresses it in this phrase here, the passive voice, which Cicero uses here, videor, I seem, as well as the ablative here of means, me juro, by my own right, and in a certain fashion. All of these together combined to express his modesty, or at least his supposed modesty. Now that we've come to the end of our brief series on De Officiis in the last 10 episodes, I want to lay out a little bit of what's in store for those of you who go on to read the rest of this important work. The work is divided into 3 books of quite unequal length. The first deals with what is bonum, that is, morally praiseworthy. The second with what is utile, personally advantageous. And the third book deals with the fact that any conflict between these 2 principles is only apparent and not actual. In other words, whatever is morally praiseworthy is also personally advantageous, and vice versa. There ought to be no separation between them. The work relies upon the thought of Panaetius, who was a Stoic philosopher from Rhodes, roughly 185 to 110 BC, who eventually came to Rome and taught there. The work thus deals with the principle of what is secundum naturam, or in accordance with nature, and thus it is a bedrock text in the natural law tradition. Please join us next time.